Hi, this is Chuck, and I want to continue our discussion on the four fields illustration. What we're going to talk about today, not only is the four fields a strategy where we have an entry strategy, gospeling, discipling, then church formation, and then, of course, the people that work in those four fields are laborers or trainers. Not only is this an overall strategy for reaching the lost, discipling, and church formation, but we can also use this as a building block for showing a generational map. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. As we practice in ministry and reach the lost, disciple, form churches, and develop laborers and trainers, you're going to have a church or a group that will not only serve and minister to itself, but will also spawn into new groups and new individuals. So, in other words, we're going to make disciples who will start other churches and other groups. And so, that most natural thing for a disciple to do is make another disciple, and the most natural thing for a group to do, or a church or a family, is to start another family or group or church. So, that's what we should see happening in the process of making disciples and planting churches, is that they reproduce after their own kind. Now, what you see in this model is really an addition model. It's really all about the mother church planting new churches. But this is not what we're looking for. We're actually looking for generations to come out of this. So the second church that would be started by the mother church would begin to start accountability groups, which would eventually turn into full-blown groups or churches, like the other two churches here. So now we have multiplication. Before, we only had addition, where one church was making disciples and planting other groups or churches. In this case, we're not only doing that, but we're training up the next generation of laborers and trainers in order to do the same thing, to reproduce after their own kind. What we would really like to see is 6 streams of 4 generations. If we start to see that, it takes on this movement quality to it, and only God can create something like that. So that's what we're praying and working towards, is to see God move in that way. 6 streams of 4 generations. But this is a generational map, and the 4 fields is the basic building block for the generational map. And then one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to use this as a diagnostic tool. And you can see all these numbers, and you may be wondering, what are those numbers about? Well, I'll tell you in the next video. But here's the generational map. If you'd like, go ahead and try your hand at it and watch the next video to figure out what these numbers mean and how we can use them as a diagnostic tool for how we're doing in making disciples and creating or planting new churches.